Thank you, Presiding Officer. The 5th of May 2015 was a very important day in the life of this Parliament. It was the day that the Parliament was awarded an award from Action on Hearing Loss of a charter mark, a nationally recognised accreditation for organisations which offer excellent levels of service and accessibility for people who are deaf or have hearing loss. But perhaps more importantly, it was also the day when we started the parliamentary debate around the British Sign Language Bill. Mark Griffin came to the Parliament on that day to propose that we adopt the general principles of the British Sign Language Bill, which we gladly and unanimously did. And I was very happy to speak in that debate and to support what he was proposing. Sign language is not something, of course, that is simply limited to people speaking BSL. We all have our own individual sign language. I have just exchanged some signs with the presiding officer to establish how long she wants me to speak, and I'm quite convinced I saw her say that it was 27 minutes. It may be that, of course, my ability to read her signs is somewhat incomplete. When we wink, it is quite clear in a particular context what we're likely to be meaning. In my part, if it's an attractive young lady I'm winking at, well, you can work out the message. In other circumstances, it will mean something different. If I slap my forehead, I am saying I am being stupid. I have forgotten something. If I wave my hands, it's hello. So we all are familiar with the concept of sign language, even if we have not a single gesture from the British Sign Language. I do have one little phrase. Let's see if you know what it means. That means I am ZS. Now, that, of course, merely leads you to another puzzle. Why am I saying I am ZS? As a software engineer, we used to have to have two letters that were our particular letters representing us, and Sammy Steen had stolen SS before I got there, so I became ZS. And to this day, my intimates from that period of my life continue to know me as ZS. Looking at the consultation, there are one or two things that I haven't seen before in consultations that are particular to this particular government document. Firstly, and I very much welcome this, you can respond to the consultation by submitting a YouTube video or a Vimeo clip in a GIF file, which, given the nature of BSL as a visual language, is of course right and proper. But I wouldn't have thought of it myself, but now that I've read of that in what the government has brought forward, it's something I will try and remember. I mentioned in my intervention to the Minister the subject of Doric BSL. At the back of the chamber, I was told that I had forgotten about the Ouija's. I've no idea what Ouija means, of course, being as I come from apparently somewhere else. It is an impressive document we have before us, and it being impressive is also to challenge. It has 55 commitments. See, I'm using my hand almost unconsciously to reinforce my message. I particularly approve of commitments 20, 21, 22, which has been referred to already by several members about offering BSL as a second language. The 1+2 language initiatives in schools is a very welcome one, because people who learn two languages create neural paths in the brain that raise their overall academic achievement. In my own family, I can see that. I have a Danish great-nephew and a Danish great-niece. Their father is Scots, their mother is Danish. They are bilingual, and I can see that that helps their intellectual development. Other parts of the document at 23 and 24 talk about support during post-school education. I think that too is very important. I have a close family member who is dyslexic. She had the right support throughout her career, including at university, so somebody was able to help her understand the questions that she couldn't necessarily properly read on exam papers, and she graduated with an honours degree. She is now, in her career, a very successful manager of a pharmacological laboratory. So she has put that particular disability or that condition behind her by simply getting the right kind of support. It's worth saying in this city we have some particular things that are relevant to supporting people who are deaf. Thomas Braidwood, who lived between 1715 and 1806, founded what is thought to be the first school for the deaf here in this city. Dr. Samuel Johnson, when he visited Edinburgh in 1773, said, "It is a subject of philosophical curiosity in Edinburgh, which no other city has to show, a college for the deaf and dumb." Dr. Joshua Reynolds, the world-famous portrait painter, he was deaf, but it did not stop him creating an international reputation that endures to this day. And John Goodricke, who died in 1786 at the age of 21, was elected to the Royal Society right at the end of his life, because he was the first person to spot the periodic nature and the changing of illuminations from particular stars and to identify the reasons for that. He was a par excellence scientist who was also deaf. It's been a matter of public policy to take an interest in that. I know too that it's been a matter that's touched democracy. There's only, as far as I'm aware, been one deaf MP, Jack Ashley, and of course he was a special case because he was elected hearing and became deaf. Let's hope we can continue with this excellent document, support people to engage with BSL, but also the wider issue of supporting people who are deaf. Presiding Officer.